I'll never forget many, many years ago, before I got married, even before me and Miss Leisha met. I'll never forget I was praying about marriage, and I had seen so many different marriages that were just bad, that had broken up, separated, turmoil, and when I saw that, it made me very hesitant about wanting to get involved in marriage. So I began to pray about marriage, about whether I should get married or what have you. And I'll never forget, God spoke something into my spirit that really sustained me for many, many years to come. And that was that marriage is one of the greatest steps of faith that you'll ever make. Because in the natural, you don't know whether it's going to work or not. You don't know whether once you step out and you get married 20, 30, 40 years down the road, whether that marriage is still going to be there and whether you're still going to be in that institution. But when you know that God has called you into this relationship, God has put this person into your life, God has called you to be in their life, you can always fall back on that, especially during the tough times, and say, God, I'm in this thing not because I wanted to do it or just simply because they wanted to, but Lord, you called us together, you put us together, and we stepped out in faith and did what you called us to do.
And honey, my thing is, especially when we have a new premarital class going on, especially during orientation, the first session, I always say you got to know that you know that you know that God has called you together. And over the 28 years that Dell and I have been married, keeping it real, there have been times when I thought I missed God.
She didn't think about that too long
No, I
now.
didn't think about it too long. But you know what? I was able to take captive of those thoughts, that doubt that the enemy tried to put in my mind because I knew that I did not miss God. So I encourage you, if you're dating seriously, if you are engaged, if you're courting, we want you to know that you know that you know that God has called you together. If you don't know, then I encourage you to stop, take a time out, stay close to God, be in an atmosphere to hear from God, and know that you know that you know. You need a word from God, and that's very important. Because during our ups and downs um, in our marriage, just knowing that God has called us together has made decision making so much easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, when you know that God has put you together with this person, uh, then and also too that there's no option B's, no option B's, no back doors, no person on the side that you're gonna run to in case this works doesn't work out. But when you get 100% in this relationship, and not only you get 100%, but you know that they're 100% in this relationship, and both of you all are looking at this marriage as a step of faith, then it definitely makes the relationship a lot more solid. It makes it a lot more healthy. The chances of you all breaking up and running off and all like that, a lot of that gets taken away because when you get into it, you realize we've got to make this thing work. We have to sometimes swallow our pride. Sometimes we have to come off the old high horse, as the old saying goes. You do what you got to do. You make the sacrifices, you make the adjustments because you know that this thing is of God. God called us to be in this. God put this person in my life. God put me in their life. This is a step of faith. Look at marriage as a stewardship that God has placed you into. And when you begin to have that mindset, then when you go through the ups and the downs and the ins and outs that you will face as a married couple, then you'll have a greater foundation to be able to sustain whatever it is that you may have to endure.
Folks, we love being married.
We do.
Marriage is hard work.
Yep.
Marriage is love work and it's
Love
well
work.
worth it. So, you got to know that you know that God has called you together. Remember that marriage is a covenant relationship. It is unto death do you part.
Yeah.
It is for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, and to
Yeah.
death do you part.
Yeah.
It is not a contract. A contract says I am protecting my rights and limiting my responsibilities. Marriage is God's idea.
God's idea.
And we want you know that God has called you together because that's what's going to sustain you when you go through your ups and downs.
Yeah. So true. Marriage not a contract. Marriage is a covenant. Don't ever forget that. And we always recommend that everybody go through a premarital coaching class someplace. We definitely recommend that you go through Taylormade Life Resources. But if you don't come through us, then definitely go to a premarital coaching class with your church or some other good organizations that's going to tell you what thus saith the Lord about marriage. It'll definitely help you all to get off to a real good start in your married relationship.
Okay, God bless.
Bless you.